Welcome to Global World Watch. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The global economy is a complex machine. Change one part, and the whole system feels it. That's what happened when the Trump administration introduced tariffs to protect American jobs. The goal: make foreign goods pricier, nudging consumers to buy American. But the real-world effects were far from simple. For international automakers like Hyundai, these tariffs posed a major challenge. Hyundai sells millions of cars in the US, many of them imported or built with imported parts. Suddenly, those imports cost more, forcing Hyundai to make tough choices, absorb the costs, raise prices, or rethink its US strategy. This wasn't just Hyundai's problem, it was a test for the entire global auto industry. Contrary to rumors, Hyundai wasn't on the verge of leaving the US market. Instead, what followed was a fascinating case study in adaptation and resilience. Hyundai's response shows how global companies navigate political and economic shocks. This story is about investment, strategy, and the surprising strength of global supply chains under pressure. Let's dive into how Hyundai turned a challenge into an opportunity. The Trump administration's tariffs aimed to help American-made cars by taxing imports. For Hyundai, this meant higher costs. Many US models were assembled abroad or used imported parts. Tariffs added thousands to each car, threatening Hyundai's competitive pricing. Raising prices risked losing customers to Ford or Toyota. Hyundai tried to absorb costs, but it wasn't sustainable. Even US plants relied on now costlier imported components. Profit margins shrank and pressure mounted. Hyundai needed a new strategy to survive in America. Instead of retreating, Hyundai doubled down on America. The company invested heavily in its Montgomery, Alabama plant, retooling it to build more popular models domestically. Production of vehicles like the Santa Fe SUV shifted from overseas to Alabama, a direct response to tariffs. Hyundai also committed to new facilities, most notably the massive Meta plant in Georgia for electric vehicles and batteries. Billions in investment and thousands of new jobs signaled Hyundai's long-term commitment. Hyundai was evolving from a foreign importer to a domestic manufacturer, betting big on America's future. Despite massive investments, rumors swirled that Hyundai might exit the US market. This narrative missed the reality. The US is too important for any global automaker to abandon. Hyundai has deep roots, decades of sales, hundreds of dealerships, and tens of thousands of American jobs. Walking away would mean surrendering a massive asset. The company's new investments, like the Georgia EV plant, are commitments for decades, not signs of retreat. Building a new factory is a long-term bet, not a short-term fix. These moves anchor Hyundai to the US market more than ever. The idea of Hyundai leaving is the opposite of what's happening. By shifting production to the US, Hyundai is becoming more American, insulating itself from trade volatility. Tariffs didn't push Hyundai out. They accelerated its transformation into a domestic player. The company isn't leaving, it's moving in deeper. Hyundai's story is one of growth, not retreat. The rumors couldn't be further from the truth. Hyundai's response to tariffs was more than a quick fix. It was a strategic pivot. The company recognized the shift toward national resilience and domestic production. To succeed, Hyundai had to align with America's new priorities. This meant becoming a visible, valued part of the US industrial landscape. Hyundai publicized its investments and job creation, framing itself as a partner in America's future. The company positioned itself as an example of how America First policies could attract foreign investment. Hyundai's focus on electric vehicles was especially timely, tapping into federal and state incentives. The disruption of tariffs became an opportunity to lead in next-generation automotive technology. By investing in US production, Hyundai reduced its vulnerability to future trade shocks. The company traded global sourcing's lower costs for the stability of domestic manufacturing. This was a mature, forward-thinking move, prioritizing long-term resilience over short-term savings. Hyundai's pivot was about more than cars. It was about securing its place in America's economic future. Hyundai wasn't alone. Trump's tariffs forced the entire auto industry to adapt. Foreign automakers like Toyota, Honda, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz all faced similar pressures. Those with U.S. factories were better insulated from tariffs than those relying on imports. Building cars in America became a competitive advantage. Companies expanded U.S. plants, moved production stateside, and invested in new EV and battery factories. The America First rhetoric translated into real business decisions and jobs. Incentives and tariffs worked together to pull manufacturing onto U.S. soil. The industry's competitive edge shifted from design alone to smart, resilient production strategies. Automakers that localized their supply chains thrived. The Trump tariffs accelerated a trend already underway. Proving commitment to America meant building in America. The rules of the game had changed for everyone. The U.S. auto industry was being reshaped before our eyes. Adaptation became the new standard for survival. America First was a simple slogan, but its impact on the global assembly line was profound. Cars are built from parts sourced worldwide, a system optimized for efficiency, not national borders. Tariffs disrupted this model, forcing automakers to rethink their strategies. Hyundai adapted by aligning with U.S. policy, moving production stateside. This pragmatic approach showed that globalism and nationalism can coexist. Foreign companies became domestic manufacturers, creating American jobs and paying American taxes. Tariffs aimed at foreign firms ended up integrating them more deeply into the U.S. economy. But reshoring production isn't without costs. Consumers may face higher prices, at least initially. The challenge balanced domestic manufacturing with affordability. Hyundai's story is a key chapter in this ongoing economic experiment. The U.S. must weigh resilience against cost in its industrial future. The global assembly line is evolving, not disappearing. Many feared tariffs would collapse the U.S. auto market, but that didn't happen. Instead, the market adapted, prices rose, but automakers found ways to keep cars affordable. Companies offered incentives, absorbed costs, and shifted to more profitable models. American consumers kept buying, proving demand for cars is resilient. The market didn't break, it bent and reconfigured. The real story is one of adaptation, not apocalypse. Automakers like Hyundai changed strategies, invested, and innovated. The industry found a new equilibrium, not destruction. The key lesson: disruption isn't the same as destruction. Trade policies created uncertainty and forced tough choices, but didn't destroy the industry. Companies pivoted, and the market adjusted. The economy is more like a river than a window. It flows around obstacles. Understanding this distinction is crucial for making sense of economic policy. The U.S. auto industry proved its resilience in the face of disruption. Hyundai's journey through the Trump tariffs is a lesson in modern political economy. Tariffs didn't force foreign companies out, they triggered a wave of investment in American manufacturing. Hyundai doubled down, transforming a crisis into an opportunity with massive U.S. investments. The company aligned with America's push for domestic production and EV leadership. The U.S. auto market didn't collapse, it adapted. Hyundai didn't leave, it became more American than ever. This story debunks the myths of market collapse and foreign retreat. Instead, it's about resilience, foresight, and integration. America First didn't mean foreign defeat. It meant foreign companies embedding deeper into the U.S. economy. In global economics, adaptation is the ultimate key to survival and success.